Welcome, I'm Dr. Larry Dee. I'm a former president of the American Diabetes Association and currently chair of the ADA Safe at School program. We're grateful that you took the opportunity to view our materials today. ADA started Safe at Schools because we recognized two things. Firstly, children need to have their diabetes controlled 24 hours a day. And secondly, we recognized that children need adequate supervision to do that. But as science has evolved, it's become perfectly clear that children have to have their diabetes controlled all day long. They have to have it controlled at school. They have to have their diabetes well controlled all day long.
Because I have diabetes and I need to keep myself safe.
I think when a parent first enters the school system with a child with diabetes, now they feel supported that their child is going to be cared for, and it relieves a great deal of anxiety on their part.
Alex was diagnosed on December 19, 2007. I was so worried because when he was in the hospital, what's going to happen when I'm going to send him to school? So I find out there is a lot of support. His teacher, at that time, they were going to send her for diabetes education. It was a lot of relief when I knew that.
I always have to take shots in my leg, and I always have to go test my blood sugar before I do anything.
It's a huge responsibility for a kid his age, or any kid for that matter, but at the same time, in order for a parent to be able to give them any independence, they have to be able to handle the diabetes on their own. That's why it's absolutely imperative that the schools have a program in place so that anyone that these children come in contact with, they're familiar with it, because it is a very dangerous disease, and it's something that that needs to be addressed very quickly, and if someone is not trained to handle that, it can be a very unfortunate situation.
A lot of our students do their blood sugar checks right in the classroom so that they aren't missing out time away from their academic studies. They develop a close relationship with the nurse, with the administrators, with the teacher, because they know that everyone cares and wants to take care of their child.
Well, in the very beginning, it was incredibly overwhelming. In the beginning of the school year, we actually went and my mom and I met with each of my teachers. And it actually made me feel really smart and really in control of this whole thing, because I would go and explain to my teachers, you know, this is how diabetes works. I might have to test. I might need to bring food. And they were all just so accommodating. They were really great about allowing me to do whatever it was I need to do.
I would always have a student who had diabetes, and I always wanted to be prepared to know what to do if that student ever needed my aid. You learn so much about how diabetes can affect learning. I think that was one of the important things I learned from the training, so that you know that a student won't be able to concentrate maybe as well if that student has a low blood sugar level. So I think it's very important for teachers to be trained, and as well as the bus drivers, anyone else really who comes in contact with a student where they can help to save a life.
If you do have diabetes, it's really no big deal, and you're really just like everybody else. You just have to stop doing what you're doing once in a while.
It's definitely an added benefit for the child to be able to have the teacher recognize the low blood sugar in the classroom. It can be treated immediately. We're not having them walk in a hallway. It's not taking a staff person a bit of time to get down to the classroom so that the student is waiting for that blood sugar to be checked.
You learn how to measure blood sugar, to give insulin, to count carbohydrates, to recognize highs and lows. And what's interesting is anyone can learn all of those things.
It's been a good thing to have a diverse group trained, because we can't always get a nurse in, have the nurse in the school. If we have the person that covers the clinic out and we cannot get a substitute, someone else has to take care of that student.
It's inevitable there may be an emergency, and so we try to prevent that by teaching people what to look out for.
For the field trip, it happened last week. That was the first time, but I was feeling comfortable because the teacher, she already took the class. and she was going with them, chaperone with the kids, and he went fine. He was under control.
My teacher is very smart. She knows a lot about diabetes. She knows when I'm low and she knows when I'm not.
We do a classroom care plan that lets the teacher know this is the time that a snack is to be eaten. This is the time that they've got PE.
And so I think that you're more in tune to teaching the whole child, which is, I think, the perfect kind of teaching, where you're aware of everything that might affect learning, including the student's medical condition.
The American Diabetes Association has produced these materials for Safe at School because we want you to be able to use them. We want you to be able to learn from them, and we want you to be able to help children with diabetes achieve all of their potential every day.